So Luke wasn't really mincing words when he talked about doing good and being nice. In fact, it's sort of challenging us to not only be nice to the easy folks to be nice to, our friends, the people that we love. We can be nice to them. They're going to be nice to us. Everything works just fine. But try to be nice to someone who isn't nice to you, and try to be nice to someone that you don't even know. That's a harder part. But luckily, we have organizations. We have the Scouts that are training our young people to do just that, be nice. If you look at the Girl Scout Promise, it says, help people at all times. The Boy Scouts has the similar saying, which is help other people at all times, very similar. The Girl Scout law and the Boy Scout law both have be friendly, helpful, considerate, caring, courteous, kind. They all cover the same area. And both of them, both the Girl Scouts and I should say Scouting America, which is the new word for Boy Scouts, they both say do a good turn daily. But I think Luke, or the message Luke I hear is, you got to take it up a notch. You can't just be good to the people who are easy to be good to. So I'm going to focus on a person that I admire, and actually I'm going to focus on a person that Spencer thinks is the best president we've had. So Spencer, this is for you. We're going to talk about Jimmy Carter. Now, Jimmy Carter obviously was our president, and unfortunately he had passed away last December at the age of 100. So later on you'll see some of the words that he has spoken, and a lot of them I think are really good to hold on to. He was a scout in every sense of the word. He did have 3 sons and 1 daughter, and he focused, primarily since the 3 sons came first, focused on the Boy Scouts, but he was a troop committee chair, he was a scoutmaster, he was an explorer advisor, and he also achieved an award which hardly anyone can get. It's called a Silver Buffalo. Sounds strange, but it's a big award about the size of a buffalo. But he did definitely live through all of that oath and law and took it to heart. One example of that is Habitat for Humanity. Now, many of you know that program. Probably you don't know that East Hills had a big part of that program. I'm sorry. I skipped one. Can you back up? I flicked too far. We're going to start with this one, which is, I'll do the best that I can with this. I'm an engineer, not a doctor, which is why I'll touch on this, but I'm not going to go into detail. If you want more detail about the guinea worm disease or affliction, you can read about it. But bottom line is, it is an extremely painful affliction that has been afflicting people in Africa and in Asia, but primarily in India. You can see from the map. For years and years. If you look to the right, that symbol, that little worm that's around the stick, that dates back to about 300 BC. So, and that's the medical symbol that a lot of the organizations use that are trying to give care. There is no cure for it. There is no vaccine for it. There are no drugs for it. Basically, there are some things that you can do. It's not really that much science. It really has to do with more education. But the bad news is the fact that it's been around before Jesus, and nobody was really doing much about it until Jimmy Carter decided that he cared about it. And he started the Carter Institute and the Carter Centers in the different areas, educating people about how to handle the guinea worm and how to get it under control. It wasn't easy. He had to talk to a lot of governments because the governments weren't that excited about him coming in, but he had to talk to them and talk through that. And he was going to be helping people that he didn't even know who they were, but it really didn't matter. And as you can see, by 2024, he's gotten that down to 4. So from 3.5 million cases to 4 cases of people that he has treated and helped. He hasn't treated them personally, but set up a program where they were helped. If you go closer to where we are, now we'll get to Habitat for Humanity. That's another program that he set up to challenge the fact that we did not have affordable housing. And so way back in 1976, he started that program whereby he had organizations that would go down and build houses for people, with people who needed help in the construction process. I'm proud to say that East Hills was a part of that for about 10 years. And it was started by our venture crew here. And if you're in venturing, you would wear a uniform just like this. This is a venturing uniform. But it was made up of boys from Troop 362 here, and it was made up with girls from Girl Scout Senior Troop 8225. And some of those young ladies are here also who were part of that. You can actually find some of them in the picture. It was a fantastic experience. I will tell you, it was super hot. Usually the heat index was above 100 most of the times we were down there. Interestingly enough, we would get down there in the Eastern Shore of Virginia, and people would say, make sure you stay inside. But we hadn't built the house yet, so there was no inside to be inside on. But my point to the whole thing is this was not an easy task. It was something that we did, working alongside of the owners or the would-be owners of the houses, but it did make an impact on them, and it made an impact on us. And last year alone, 13 million people were positively affected, either helping to build their house or helping to improve their home so that it would be much more habitable for them. So that was all because of Jimmy Carter's work. But I actually am more excited about something else that he did that most people wouldn't know about, and that was when he was at Annapolis. When he was in Annapolis, he met a person by the name of Wesley Brown. Now, Jimmy Carter was an upper-class midshipman. I got that right this time. And Wesley was just beginning at Annapolis. Now, Wesley was the 6th African-American that had been at Annapolis. The 5 before him had been hazed, harassed, attacked, pretty much everything you can think of to the point where they basically gave up. I will tell you, it is extremely difficult to be the only person of color in an organization where everyone else is white. And trust me, I have been there, and it is difficult. But Jimmy Carter befriended Wesley Brown. He sat with him for hours, learning more about Wesley, the person. Periodically would be telling Wesley to hang in there. Wesley Brown had said that pretty much every day that he woke up, he thought that that was the day that he was resigning. But I believe that those words from Jimmy Carter kept him in, and he did graduate and became the first African American to graduate from Annapolis. I doubt if that would have happened had it not been for Jimmy Carter stepping in and befriending him. And it probably wasn't easy for Jimmy Carter either, because I'm sure Jimmy Carter was from Arkansas, and there were other midshipmen who were also from Arkansas who were probably doing their best to get Wesley to leave. So I'm sure that Jimmy Carter probably got some harassment too for doing what he did. But it's not easy. But the compassionate support that Jimmy Carter gave made all of that happen. And I think that's back to what Luke was telling us. Love your enemies, do good to them, but you must be compassionate just as your Father is compassionate. But what should we be doing? If we get back to Jimmy Carter again, he had some words. My faith demands that I do whatever I can, wherever I am, whenever I can, for as long as I can, with whatever I have to try to make a difference. So what does that mean for us? The good news is I don't think the expectation is that you're required to go out and cure a medical affliction that's been worldwide for hundreds and hundreds of thousands of years, or establish a program that's going to build millions of houses each day around the world. But everybody here, everybody on Zoom, everybody who's listening on YouTube, you can look for those people that need a passionate, helping hand. Those are the people that need your help. Most of them, you don't know who they are, and it is a challenge, and this is part of Luke's challenge, to find out who they are and to help, and just give them that helping hand. Your compassionate act will make a difference. They will know that they're not alone because of you. They will feel included because of you. And they will know that someone cares because of you. Amen.